And I think you earlier on told Mr. Cheskelson that you know the workings of the SABC, so you know that the minister cannot discipline. It must mean that you know that.
I said I didn't. I realized later that it is not the minister who can do that. It is. Remember, it is not that I am acquainted with or conversant with everything in SABC.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Yeah. And where in that message you say, now we got something. Now we got something. Before this, you were searching. It suggests that before this you had been searching and you were not succeeding, and now we got them. Am I wrong to read to that the emphasis of now to mean that? That you're telling the minister, we've been looking, now we've got something to discipline them.
Yeah, you are not wrong to think it that way, but that's not what I meant.
So you say I'm not wrong?
No, to think, Commissioner is saying, Madam Commissioner is saying, do you agree that I'm not wrong to think this way? Indeed, you are not wrong to think that way.
Okay. So I'm correct that the communication here means you had been looking for something, and now you're telling the minister we've got them finally.
Not necessarily, Commissioner. Maybe the word, English is very troublesome. We just like it. Maybe I just said, now we have something. But I did not. Commissioner, I do not even have metric myself. And when you have a lawyer who prepares...
General Fani, it's towards the end of the week for us to fight. It's in your statement. You say in your statement, the procurement policy instructs you or obligates you to appoint credible and knowledgeable people. So don't dismiss credible now.
Sure.
It's too late for you to dismiss credible now because you have done that statement under oath.
Yes.
Now, I'm saying, are you saying, confirming before Parliament, that the people who served in the bid evaluation committee are credible? You said they are knowledgeable. We have taken that.
Sure.
Are they credible?
I cannot vouch on credibility.
Okay, so you appointed people in the BC that you can vouch their credibility.
Correct, Honorable Chair.
Thank you.
I was born in August 1979.
That's correct, Commissioner. It is
so that is incorrect. You were not born in August 1979.
I was born. It's not that it's incorrect. I'm saying due to the ID number, my ID number, is incorrect from the Home Affairs.
Yes.
From the Home Affairs, and I grew up like that. And actually, I was born in September 1977. 22 September, not August. But the error that came from the Home Affairs, there was no way I could reverse and change it.
Okay, let's move on from that.
Thank you.
Do you have any form of policing training? Formal policing training? No. Do you have any form of intelligence gathering training? Any formal training?
Clandestine training, yes. Formal, you mean with qualifications?
Yes.
No.
You don't have qualifications?
No. The training was different.
Do you have any form of qualification that involves forensic investigations?
No.
No. But now you want this commission to believe that in 2020, you were hired to investigate irregularities within crime intelligence.
Commissioner, that is a fact. An irregular, the task was given to me, and for the commission, more clarity. It was not the first time. I just could not put. It's not in the statement. It was not the first time I was tasked to do any mission or
something that I picked up now. The minister only ever called you in for the Medicare 24 contract. Nothing else. Nothing else, and because that had surfaced in the media. No other contracts.
Nothing whatsoever.
So before this contract, there was nothing else in the media that popped up?
Nothing else.
That would have grabbed his attention or grabbed your attention that would sort of have an urgent meeting?
I have never been called by the minister or his office pertaining to issues of procurement.
So even though in March 2025, and I just came across this now, there's a headline, accused appear in court for over 88 million tender fraud in SAPS. That was also an article. Are you aware of that article?
I'm aware of that article.
You're aware, but the minister didn't worry about that. Because it appeared in the same platform, public domain. The minister didn't worry about that. He didn't call you in about that.
I was never called in.
But specifically the Medicare one. Doesn't that make you wonder why? Why did the minister only have interest? If he was worried about SAPS's image, shouldn't he have called you in for that other article as well? What do you think? Common sense. And now?
It's reputational damage. It's equally important.
Yes, but it's very simple.
Yeah.
Why were you taking so long to answer now? Should the minister not have called you in for anything else that surfaced in the public domain?
What the practice that he has established to call us when there is anything of possible reputation, yes, he probably should have
But he
called us for
didn't.
this one. No, he didn't call us.
Okay. General Fani, you have served as the Divisional Commissioner since August 22, right?
Correct.
Okay. In your witness statement, you state that during your time at SAPS, there have been no arrest for procurement corruption, which you say indicates that all audited and investigated tenders yielded no element of corruption. Is this correct? So no arrest during your time?
I have indicated there's only one arrest that was done for a procurement matter that was concluded before I was at SAPS. For all the procurement that happened under my watch, there has not been anyone arrested.
And this basically means that everything is hunky-dory?
Not necessarily.
Everything's fine?
It's a commitment I've made with my team to make sure that we clear issues and we ensure that we do due diligence. There are challenges that we are experiencing and we need to deal with those challenges. But that commitment I made on day one when I arrived at SAPS, and I'm going to make sure that the people that work in my space do what is required so that we can avert such issues in the future.
But it doesn't mean everything is fine. The fact that you
No,
have
it doesn't
no
mean
arrest
it-
doesn't mean
No,
everything
no.
is fine.
Not at all.
Like you indicate and like
Not
you
at all.
insinuate in your paragraph.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean everything is fine, no.
Yeah. At the end of paragraph,
You said to Chair, you want this commission to believe that you are a contact agent. That's what you said in your response to the Chair. Do you accept that as we are sitting here today, you have not provided this commission with any supporting documents that confirm, wait for the question, you have not supported this commission with any supporting documents that confirm your version that you are conducting investigations as a contact agent? We have nothing in front of us. You say you were in Kenya. We don't have your flight tickets. We don't have the communication between you and the person in Kenya. You say you called him on your cell phone. You say you followed Ket Matlala to Durban. We don't have your flight tickets. You did not take photos of this place you followed him to. So there's absolutely nothing before us that supports the version that you conducted any of these investigations that you are mentioning. Are you at least prepared to accept that before us as we are sitting here today, other than your statement and your say-so, there are no documents that support the version that you are a contact agent and you conducted these investigations? Yes or no?
The question is very unfair, Commissioner. To say I have nothing, as I've just said to you, Commissioners, contact agent, you will never find any identity of a contact agent. You will never. In this whole room, I am a state agent. I'm a contact agent. You will never find a document written contact agent. And as I say, I took
Mr. Mogotsi,
senior counsel to the hospital.
Not a document that says contact agent. A document that shows that you...
And what the National Commissioner indicated was that this gentleman from IDAC had raised concerns that there was Medicare 24 Tshwane did not have a valid tax clearance certificate and had been blacklisted, and that it seemed to have been linked to an entity that was linked, or a person that was involved in Tembisa Hospital. So you were then indicating that from this response, he said that he spoke to an official.
Yeah, he had not spoken to me. He had spoken to the official in my absence. I was on leave at the time, and National Commissioner was assured that there is nothing untoward with regards to the evaluation process. When we started, I'll just mention that part here because it's critically important, even though we are not dealing with the adjudication process. When the bid adjudication set and we did the declaration, it would appear that the bid adjudication committee members did not know of any concerns that were raised by IDAC, because when I called upon for them to declare, none of them had any declarations to make with regards to this contract. Neither did I have any declaration because it was unknown to me that this concern had been raised with the National Commissioner.
Yes, but it had been raised with the National Commissioner. Who's the official that the National Commissioner says that he spoke to?
In his letter, in his response to the chairperson of this committee, the National Commissioner has indicated that he had spoken to Major General Hankins.
Yes, and in what capacity was Major General Hankins acting at the time?
I was on leave. She was acting as the Divisional Commissioner of Supply Chain.
So then, despite those, the concerns were raised, then you proceeded to the adjudication.
The unknown to the bid adjudication committee, the tender was tabled to the bid adjudication committee for adjudication, and we did sit as the adjudication committee to adjudicate.
And then on the 18th of June 2024, Medicare 24 Tshwane was awarded the health risk management services contract. Is that correct?
That's correct.
The Hawks guy says, you need to send that email tonight. And the Hawks, and the Colonel says, Brown's working with the minister, he's a police officer. And the Hawks guy says, no, he's the minister's man. And the Colonel says, And the Colonel and the Hawks guy says, he's the minister's man. And over the page, the Colonel says, the only person who can stop it is the minister.
Which page is that?
We're now at page 64, sort of about 7 lines in. The only person who can stop it is the minister. And the Hawks person says, how can the minister stop it? The Colonel says, how can the minister stop it? And the Colonel says, misled, misrepresentation. And the Colonel's, and the Hawksman says, can you? And the Colonel says, facts were misrepresented to me. I did my due diligence and worked for. And then the Hawksman says, and found the truth. Can you do a statement for that and send it to the minister? So this Hawksman is saying, you know, Brown's from the minister's office, send your complaint to the minister. And on it goes. The central theme through all of this is the Hawksman who thinks...
Do it, Chair. In the procurement process, this normally gets done by the end user.
No, but I don't care about the end user. I care about supply chain management, because the Auditor General shows us that in the past financial year, you had SAPS had over 650 million rand irregular expenditure. You're telling me that you didn't do criminal record checks on Kate McLala?
No, we didn't. I do not.
General, I want to move in terms of the same matter. There's a criminal case at the moment that's open in Brooklyn, in Pretoria. I've got the case number here for forged signatures that were used during pre-employment medical screening by Medicare 24 of SAP's recruits. Can you guarantee to us today that every recruit that they signed off on actually did go through the relevant assessment? Or were they basically certifying that those assessments were fraudulent?
I cannot vouch on that. I do not get involved in the operations.
But you said earlier that there was that the services were rendered.
Honorable Chair, the end user certified the payment, indicating that they received the service. If there was any service failure, I am not privy to that, particularly what the honorable member is picking up now.
But
that was never raised with me. It's the first time that I hear about it.
That's very interesting because the National Commissioner knows about it. You're part of the national management. In other words, so if forged medical authorizations were issued, do you understand that you as the head of supply chain, you are the gateway of forged medical authorizations? Let me explain. Is it not entirely possible that applicants with disqualifying medical conditions, including substance abuse, were then incorrectly passed as fit for duty?
Honorable Chair, that process is managed by the end user, and the end user is the one that makes sure that the quality of the evaluation is in line with what they have in their service level agreement and the contract.
General, stop dancing. Chair,
No,
this witness is dancing around.
No.
I'm not interested in the end user, General. Hear me today. I said this to you 2 weeks ago.
Join the dance or the chorus.
Yes. I said this to you 2 weeks ago in the Portfolio Committee as well. Take responsibility for your division. You are the gateway for corruption at the moment, whether it's willingly or not. This isn't an oversight. It's 360 million rand. Do you know how many detectives we could have empowered with that money? How many dogs we could have bought for K9 unit? Your irregular expenditure increased with 140% in 1 year. The way you've been describing your division today, SAP sounds like heaven. You currently, as the South African Police Service, have hundreds of members that are stuck on prolonged sick leave because of the required medical reports that were never delivered. Again, Medicare 24. These officers continue to draw full salaries but cannot return to duty, and their posts cannot be filled. How do you justify saying that there was no waste? Similar to the question that the Honourable Nomvalo asked you previously.
Honorable Chair, as I've indicated, the end user only pays for the services that were rendered. Where there were no services rendered, the end user has an obligation in terms of PFMA. The budget is with them. They manage the operations to ensure that they're paying for the services that were not rendered. I have indicated that when they raised the issues of performance, we dealt with those issues with Medicare. If Medicare still operated and we had reasonable grounds in terms of performance to cancel the contract based on non-performance, we would have done that.
But you haven't, and they have non-performed, General. But I'm interrupting you again because you're talking about the end user. I'm not interested in the end user. You allowed Medicare into the police. You, no one else. You. The buck stops with you. Honourable Breitenbach asked you earlier, every member has asked you so far, where does the buck stop? Maybe not using the specific word. You keep going to the end user. I'm not interested in the end user. The point is that the wrong service wouldn't have been rendered did you not allow Medicare entrance into the South African Police Service. I want to ask you the next question. 2 weeks ago in the committee, I asked you, how is it possible that your, whether it's the evaluation committee or the adjudication committee, could have slipped up so badly? Your response to me said that sometimes the people on these committees aren't competent. That's also found in the internal audit findings. Do you remember that response?
I remember making that response, but with the specifics to this one, the appointment of the suppliers explicitly indicate that they were competent. I do have the record, and I will make that record available.
But you didn't go and check that they were actually competent, because if I look at the Auditor General report and I look at the internal audit report, they were flagged significantly for not being correct. Now you can say it could be frustrating to have to go and check every single one, but 360 million rand, it's more than half of the police's irregular expenditure over the last financial year. How do you explain that? And don't go to the end user.
I have to indicate, Honorable Chair, that we rely on, and I'm going to repeat it again, we rely on the judgment of the divisional commissioners that appoint these people to determine whether these people are competent to do the work that they're supposed to. That determination is done there, and it is recommended to me. It would be, I do not have the competence to go and check whether those people are competent in their work.
General, I'm sorry, again, then we can close the bid evaluation committee and we can close the bid adjudication committee, and we can ask all the DivComs to come and sit there and decide. And you're right, you don't have the competence. The entire team doesn't have the competence. This is extremely embarrassing. Do you understand that a large amount of the fruitless, let me say it like this, over 10% of irregular expenditure over the last 3 years in the South African Police Service is Medicare 24. You want to tell me that you are the divisional commissioner, one of the highest ranking police members in the country, and you didn't vet the sole director, someone previously accused of cash in transit heists, armed robbery, and the list goes on, for over 2.5 decades. And he manages to become a major supplier of services to the police. Explain. And don't go to the end user.
Honorable Chair, the procurement process that's approved in the South African Police Service does not make pronouncement for security checking of the suppliers. I have indicated that there are instances where we have done that, where we are looking at security of information and any other reasonable or any other risks that we have identified in the process. In this instance, it wasn't done.
So you've basically breached the South African Police Service. You're a breach. That's what you're saying. Your office is a breach to the security of the South African Police Service. Don't look at the chair.
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Well, it's quite simple. You allowed a criminal to get a 360 million rand contract in the South African Police Service.
It's not allowing. It's not true.
You did. How else?
No,
You didn't vet him. He was flagged. He didn't comply with the majority of the relevant things he was meant to comply with. That was found in 2 different audits. There were fraudulent signatures on medical certificates. So, General, you allowed it. Whether willingly or not, you allowed it.
No.
And it's not the committee. The buck
it's not
stops
allowing.
with you.
Honorable Chair, I would like to respond to that we did not allow. I have indicated that the adjudication committee looked at the information at their disposal. I have to concede that irregularities were picked up. It is not a deliberate act that we wanted that company to come and operate in the South African Police Service. The process that was followed, in fact, if you look at the process was correct, but there are steps in the process that were not done correctly.
Then the process wasn't correct. I'm sorry, General, you keep on telling us about processes. You even gave us a printout. So you don't need to repeat it again. And I'm sorry if I come across rude. The point is just, you can say you didn't allow it, whether it was willing or not willing, you gave access. You and your team allowed a man like Kat Matlala to get access to the South African Police Service. Answer me this. Which specific evaluation criteria did Medicare 24 fail to meet?
According to the evaluation report that we received, none. According to the internal audit, they have picked up that from the mandatory documents, they did not meet some of the mandatory requirements and they pulled through.
So the fact that that latter report that you spoke of now wasn't just some, it's an entire list, indicates things that they didn't comply with. Doesn't that show that whether willingly or not, you allowed Kat Mutlala to become part of the furniture at the South African Police Service Management Office?
I would not vouch, I would not say willingly allowed Kat Mutlala to come into
No, I said willingly or unwillingly. You allowed him.
The choice of the word allow. We adjudicated, and it has turned out that the evaluation was flawed.
Let's say it like this, you left the door open. Who authorized the shortening of the advertising period?
No one.
Why was it shortened then?
It was an administrative error from my people, and they will be disciplined with regards to that.
Who are you going to fire?
We do know who advertised the tenders within the process.
No, name them. Tell us the name.
It is, I don't have the name here with me.
You don't have the name for the person that extended, it can't be.
No, there's no one that extended anything. They just advertised it for 20 days instead of 21, which is an administrative error.
Who's being held responsible, General? That's my question.
I've indicated, Honorable Chair, that National Commissioner has indicated that we should put everything in abeyance until the forensic audit report is completed. Once that is completed, everyone that has been listed to have flaunted the processes will be disciplined.
So all of them are still in their positions a year later, and the person that did that, potentially involved in corruption, is still in his or her position. What?
Thank you. Thank you.
Utlwile bathong. Ditlhako di botlhoko.